Okay, time for today's mission. Looks like we're going out to the hidden base. The backstory here is that there's this hidden base somewhere that Neo Arcadia is running, and it's being used as a prison for Reploids. So we're sent out into the desert in order to find this place. Switching back to the triple rod because a lot of enemies in this place are a good opportunity to use it, level it up a little bit, and the enemies in general die pretty easily from this weapon. So, good opportunity, the way I see it. I just have a really lousy time aiming it sometimes. So yeah, get used to seeing the desert because there's going to be a lot of desert levels from here on out. Fortunately, they aren't all played completely straight. Little hidden wall right there leads to the first cyber elf. There's a total of 3 in this level, and only 1 is coming from killing enemies, and that's a very easy one to get. Hidden trap right there. Those are instant kill spikes all over the place. They're kind of hard to notice, but you only have to get killed by them once to realize that they're there. Looks like I just maxed out my buster, which is great because now it's going to charge so much faster, which is bound to help me out in the long run. The bats here, pretty easy to kill. One-hit kills. Just jump, slash. Whoa, that could have cost me. Those are spikes down there. You're supposed to shoot at the stalagmites. There. And just kind of deal with those. Yes, you can use the rod as a pogo stick to bounce on people's faces. Because bouncing on people's faces is fun. And it's a great way to take care of enemies without actually risking taking damage. Ah, shit. Yeah, looks like ladders are my natural enemy this time around. Okay, time for the actual proper part of this level. It's pretty crappy. Basically what happens is there's these cells all over the place, and there's a prisoner in a lot of them. Some of them don't have anybody in there, but I have to rescue 7 prisoners from all over this base while avoiding patrols. It's basically a stealth mission. Thankfully, it's not a stealth escort mission, because if I had to drag 7 of those motherfuckers around after all the problems I had dealing with 1, I would be thoroughly pissed. But it doesn't seem they're that sadistic, thankfully. So, looks like I just got to deal with this. Door over there, that's going to come into play later. And around here, just keep jumping until eventually you've come across an invisible area. That leads right to the last cyber elf, 3 of 3. I'm using the electro chip, by the way, and generally, as a rule, that's the chip you want to have equipped at all times. The stun is very nice, and more often than not, enemies are weak to it. So it can be a really good chip to use. Just look at that. It stuns them and they don't even have a chance to do anything. It's perfect. Just perfect. As opposed to the other chips, which are a little bit more limited in their usefulness. For the most part, you want to keep the thunder chip equipped until you get to a boss that's weak against something else. So that's how that goes. You don't want to unequip your chips except in very rare cases, because having some form of elemental affinity is usually a good thing. By the way, do not jump down those ladders ever, because the enemies down there, they respawn. If that guy sees me, he's going to call all of his buddies, and all of his buddies are a huge pain in the ass to deal with. So staying unseen is much better than dealing with that crap. Which is why I'm going the stealthy way of taking out this level. And not being seen, if at all possible. Okay, looks like I have almost all of them. You're noticing I'm not opening every cell. That's because some of the cells have these guys inside of them. And it's pretty much pointless to open a cell if it's just going to spawn an enemy. And you can always see what's inside of a cell anyway. The second you have it in sight, you can just look right through the window. So, no real risk of bringing out an enemy when you're expecting a person. Just gotta wait for them to pass and walk right through. Okay, switching back to the saber because I can charge the saber, which gives me alternating charge shots. Also, switching elements to fire because much more useful for this guy. Thank you for saving all of us, but it's not over yet. Is it ever? Boss protecting the hangar for the shuttle, and there's no way for us to defeat it without your help. Zero, please help. Yep. In typical fashion, it always has to end with a boss fight. So I have to clear this boss so they can get to the shuttle and get out of here. Even though they could pretty much walk to their home base from here. Zero, you've done well to make it this far. This is where your journey ends. Nobody who ever says that ever actually gets through. If you're saying the word, you know, your journey ends here, or you're not going any further, or you're going to die here, chances are the person isn't actually going to die there. They're going to kick your ass. I don't see why villains keep saying that. Okay, Blizzak Stagroth. Obviously, he's going to be Ice Elemental. I mean, just look at him. Best warrior of Leviathan, who is another Guardian. So at this point, we've pretty much fought a subordinate of every single Guardian, and we have a nice list of names to go on our to-do list, or rather our to-kill list. The Saber Slash is good. I'm pretty much just going to alternate... Whoa, that was nasty. I'm pretty much going to alternate charge types. I'm going to use the Slash, then I'm going to use the Buster. That's a really quick way to wear down bosses, and that's a really good benefit of the second control type. It lets you queue up another charge while you're using a primary charge, just like that. Just choose right through bosses. It's kind of cheap, but hey, whatever. The game lets you do it, so it's not that bad. Okay, this is Zero returning to base, prisoners. And we get our last chip. This is the ice chip. Like all the others, except this time, it's obviously Ice Elemental. So now I can freeze shit and take on bosses that are Fire Elemental and weak to ice and all that stuff. Okay, so pretty shitty score once again. Looks like I fucked up pretty badly. Looks like I just didn't kill enough, but, well, it's a stealth mission. You're not supposed to kill shit. The scoring thing is a bit of a dick sometimes, because the whole concept of this level is that you're not supposed to kill things, you're supposed to sneak by, because if you summon enemies, well, you're in a really shitty position to fight them, and they send in, like, hordes of enemies that are just, like, a pain in the ass to deal with, and they tend to be the enemies with the huge arms that deflect bullets. So they take a while to take down and wear down, so your time's going to suffer. So really, there's almost no way to get like a proper high rank because everything's just like stacked against you. If you're trying to increase one score, you're going to end up decreasing the other. It's just really fucked up. Sometimes you kind of wonder how they balance this shit, which is why the scoring can be pretty uneven and kind of a dick. But ultimately, well, it's okay, I guess. My rank didn't drop. Things worked out okay, I guess. So, yeah, that's another level down. See you next time when I take on one of the Guardians for the first time. See you then. Fuck you all and good night.